Welcome to English Podcast Motivation. I'm really happy you are here today. Today's topic is something many English learners feel, but don't always talk about. It's that quiet feeling when you are in a group of people from different countries and you don't know how to speak naturally. You understand the words, but something still feels uncomfortable. Maybe you're afraid of saying the wrong thing. Maybe you don't understand jokes. Or maybe you just feel like you don't belong.
Wow, that already feels very real to me. I remember one time I joined an international event. People were speaking English, but their style felt so different. Some were very direct, some joked a lot, some spoke very fast, and I just stood there, smiling, not knowing when to talk.
Yes, that situation is very common. And I want you to know something important. You are not bad at English. You are just learning how English works in different cultures.
That feels comforting to hear, because sometimes I think maybe my English is not good enough.
Let's change that thought. It's not about good enough. It's about fitting into different communication styles. And today, we're going to help you feel more confident in those situations. Let's imagine a real-life situation. You walk into a room, there are people from different countries. Some are from the US, some from Europe, some from Asia. They are already talking, laughing. You join them, and suddenly your brain becomes quiet.
Yes, my brain goes empty. I start thinking too much. Should I say something? Is this the right time? What if I sound weird?
That's exactly the moment we want to work on. Let's slow it down. First, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present.
What do you mean by present?
Good question. Being present means you focus on the moment, not your fear. You listen, you observe, and you join naturally, step by step, not all at once. Let's practice a simple way to enter a conversation. Imagine people are talking about travel. You don't need a perfect sentence. You can start with something simple like, "Yeah, I love traveling too."
That sounds easy, but in real life, it feels hard.
That's because your mind is judging you. So let's make it easier. Instead of trying to be interesting, just try to be real.
What does that look like?
It looks like this. "I've never been there, but it sounds interesting." Or, "I'm a bit nervous when traveling, but I want to try."
Oh, that feels more natural. Not perfect, but honest.
Exactly, and honesty connects people. Now, let's talk about something important. Different cultures have different speaking styles. This is why you sometimes feel confused.
Yes, sometimes I don't understand why people speak in a certain way.
Let's look at a simple example. In some cultures, people are very direct. They might say, "That's not a good idea." In other cultures, people are more indirect. They might say, "Maybe we can think about another option."
Ah, so the meaning is similar, but the style is different.
Exactly. And if you don't know this, you might feel uncomfortable.
Yes, sometimes I think people are too direct, or sometimes too unclear.
That's a normal reaction, but instead of judging, we can learn to adapt. Here's a useful phrase you can use in many situations. "That's interesting."
That sounds very simple.
It is simple but powerful because you don't need to fully agree or disagree. You just show you are listening.
Oh, so it gives me time to think.
Yes, and then you can add something small. For example, "That's interesting. In my country, it's a bit different."
Oh, I like that. It feels safe.
Exactly. Now, let's go deeper into a real conversation. Imagine you are talking with a group. They are discussing food. One person says, "I love spicy food." Another says, "I can't eat spicy food at all." Now, it's your turn.
Okay, I would probably say me too.
That's a good start. but let's expand it a little. You can say, I like spicy food, but not too much.
Oh, that feels more natural.
Yes, and then you can ask a question. What about you?
So I don't need long sentences.
Exactly. Short, clear, natural. Now, let's talk about something emotional. Sometimes the hardest part is not the language, it's the feeling of being different.
Yes, I feel that sometimes, like I don't belong in the group.
That feeling is very real, but here's something important to remember. Everyone in that room is also adjusting. Even native speakers feel awkward sometimes.
Really?
Yes, because culture is complex. Even people from the same country can misunderstand each other.
That makes me feel less alone.
Good, because you are not alone. Let's practice a small role play together. You are at an international meetup. I will be another person in the group. Ready?
Okay, I'll try.
Hi, where are you from?
I'm from Cambodia.
Oh, nice. Is it your first time here?
Yes, it's my first time.
Good, that's clear. Now, let's add a little more personality. Try this.
Yeah, it's my first time. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest.
That's excellent.
Really?
Yes, because it sounds human, and when you sound human, people connect with you. Let's continue the role play. Don't worry, everyone is friendly here.
Thank you. That makes me feel better.
Very nice. Now, you ask a question.
Is this your first time too?
Perfect. Do you see what's happening?
Yes, the conversation is flowing.
Exactly. Not because of perfect English, but because of simple connection. Before we continue, I want you to remember 3 simple ideas. First, you don't need perfect English. Second, simple sentences are powerful. Third, connection is more important than correctness.
That changes how I think about speaking.
Good, because confidence starts in your mind. In the next part of this conversation, we will go deeper into real situations, like when you don't understand a joke or when you feel left out in a group. And we will practice exactly what to say so you don't feel stuck anymore.
I'm actually excited now because this feels practical, not just theory.
That's the goal. We are not just learning English, we are learning how to live in English.
Let's continue from that feeling. You are standing in a group, people are talking, sometimes laughing, and suddenly someone makes a joke. Everyone laughs, but you don't understand.
Yes, that moment is very uncomfortable. I usually just smile, even if I don't understand.
That's a very natural reaction, but inside, you might feel left out.
Exactly. I start thinking, why didn't I understand? Am I too slow?
Let's change that situation. First, not understanding a joke is normal. Even native speakers don't understand every joke.
Really?
Yes, because jokes often depend on culture, wordplay, or shared experience. So instead of feeling embarrassed, you can stay curious.
But what can I say in that moment?
Good question. Here are some simple and natural responses. You can smile and say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that." Or, "Can you explain it?"
Isn't that a bit awkward?
It might feel awkward in your mind, but in reality, it's completely okay. And often, people are happy to explain.
Oh, so I don't need to pretend.
Exactly. Pretending creates distance. Honesty creates connection. Let's practice this in a short role play. I'll tell a simple joke. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side.
Okay, I understand this one.
Good. But imagine you don't. What would you say?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What does it mean?
Perfect. Now I explain. It's a simple joke. There's no deep meaning.
Oh, I see.
Very natural. No pressure, no stress. Now let's talk about another situation. You are in a conversation, but people are speaking very fast.
Yes, that happens a lot. I understand maybe 50% and then I get lost.
That's very common. So here's what you can do. You don't need to understand everything. Focus on key words.
Key words.
Yes. For example, if someone says, "Yesterday we went to this amazing restaurant and the food was incredible," you don't need every word. You can catch yesterday, restaurant, amazing.
Oh, so I understand the main idea.
Exactly. And then you can respond simply, "That sounds nice."
That feels much easier.
Yes, listening is not about perfection. It's about understanding enough to respond. Now let's make it more interactive. Imagine someone speaks very fast and asks you something, but you only understand part of it. What can you say?
Maybe, can you repeat that?
Good. Let's make it softer and more natural. You can say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Or, "Sorry, I missed that."
Oh, that sounds more polite.
Yes, and very normal in conversation. Now let's do a role play for this situation. I will speak a bit fast. "Hey, we're planning to go out after this. Do you want to join us?"
Sorry, could you say that again?
"Sure, we're going out after this. Do you want to come?"
Oh, yes, I'd love to.
Excellent. See how simple that is?
Yes, I didn't need to panic.
Exactly. Now let's go into a deeper emotional situation. You are in a group, but no one is talking to you directly. They are talking to each other. You feel invisible.
Yes, that's probably the worst feeling. I don't know when to speak. I don't want to interrupt.
That feeling is very human, but here's something important. Joining a conversation is a skill, and you can learn it.
How?
Start small. You don't need to interrupt strongly. You can wait for a small pause and add a short comment.
Like what?
Let's say they're talking about movies. You can say, "Oh, I watched that movie too."
That sounds simple.
Yes. And then you can add one more sentence. "I really liked it."
Oh, 2 sentences. Not too long.
Exactly. Short and natural. Let's practice this. Imagine two people are talking. Person A, "That movie was amazing." Person B, "Yes, the story was so emotional." Now you join.
Oh, I watched it too. I really liked it.
Perfect. Now they will naturally include you.
So I don't need to wait for someone to invite me.
Exactly. Sometimes you create your own moment. Now let's talk about cultural misunderstanding. Sometimes you say something normal in your culture, but it feels strange to others.
Yes, that happens. One time I asked someone's age directly, and they looked surprised.
Yes, in some cultures, that question is sensitive.
I didn't know. I felt embarrassed.
That's okay. Mistakes are part of learning. What matters is how you respond after.
What should I say in that situation?
You can say, "Oh, sorry if that's too personal."
That sounds polite.
Yes, and it shows respect. Let's role play this. You ask, "How old are you?" I react a bit surprised.
How old are you?
"Oh, sorry if that's too personal."
That's okay.
Oh, that fixes the situation. Yes, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be respectful and flexible. Now I want to introduce a very useful phrase. It depends.
Oh, I hear that a lot.
Yes, because in many cultures, people don't always give direct answers.
Why?
Because sometimes they want to be polite, or they want to consider different situations.
So, it depends gives a soft answer.
Exactly. For example, "Do you like spicy food?" You can say, "It depends. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't."
Oh, that sounds natural.
Yes, it makes your English feel more flexible and real. Let's practice a longer role play now. You are at a small international dinner. I'll start. "Hi, what kind of food do you like?"
It depends. I like spicy food sometimes, but not always.
"Oh, that's interesting. Where are you from?"
I'm from Cambodia.
"I've heard the food there is very flavorful."
Yes, it is. I really enjoy it.
"Beautiful. Do you feel the flow?"
Yes, it feels smooth.
That's because you are not trying too hard. You're just responding naturally. Before we go deeper, I want you to notice something. You are already able to communicate.
I think I don't give myself enough credit.
Many learners don't. They focus on mistakes instead of progress.
That's true.
So, from now on, when you speak, don't ask, "Is this perfect?" Ask, "Did I connect?"
That's a powerful question.
Yes, because language is for connection. Now, let's move into a slightly more challenging situation. You are talking, but suddenly you don't know what to say next. Your mind becomes blank.
Yes, that happens all the time.
Let's prepare for that moment. Here are some simple bridge phrases. These help you continue speaking. You can say, "Let me think," or "That's a good question."
Oh, that gives me time.
Exactly. And it sounds natural. Let's practice. I ask, "What do you like to do on weekends?"
That's a good question. I usually relax and watch movies.
Perfect. You stayed calm.
Yes, I didn't panic.
That's the goal. We're now building something very important. Not just vocabulary, but confidence in real situations.
I can feel that. It's like I have tools now.
Exactly. And in the next part of our conversation, we will go even deeper into real social situations, like how to express opinions, how to disagree politely, and how to feel more confident being yourself, even when everything feels unfamiliar.
Let's go deeper into something many learners quietly struggle with: sharing your opinion. Not just speaking, but saying what you really think, especially in an international group where people may think differently from you.
Yes, that feels scary. Sometimes I have an opinion, but I don't say it. I'm afraid people will disagree, or maybe I will sound rude.
That's a very honest feeling, and it shows something important. You care about others, but we also want you to feel comfortable expressing yourself.
So, how can I do that without feeling nervous?
Let's start with something simple. You don't need to sound strong, you can sound gentle. Here's a useful phrase: "I think."
That sounds easy.
Yes, because it softens your opinion. For example, "I think this movie is interesting."
Oh, so it doesn't sound too strong.
Exactly. Another useful phrase is, "In my opinion."
That sounds a bit more formal.
Yes, but still very natural in conversation. Now let's practice expressing an opinion in a group. Imagine people are talking about working from home. One person says, "I love working from home. It's very comfortable." Another says, "I prefer working in the office." Now it's your turn.
I think both are good.
That's a great start. Let's expand it a little.
I think both are good. It depends on the situation.
Perfect. Now you sound thoughtful and balanced. Now let's talk about something a little more challenging: disagreeing.
Yes, that's very difficult. I don't want to create conflict.
And you don't have to. Disagreement doesn't mean conflict. It's about how you say it.
So, how can I disagree politely?
Here's a very useful phrase: "I see your point, but..."
Oh, that sounds respectful.
Yes, It shows you understand the other person before sharing your idea. Let's practice. I say, I think city life is better than countryside life.
I see your point, but I prefer the countryside.
Excellent. That's polite and clear.
It doesn't feel aggressive.
Exactly. Now let's go into a real-life scenario. You are in a group discussion. People are talking about traveling alone. One person says, traveling alone is the best. You feel free. Another says, it's too lonely. Now, share your opinion.
I think traveling alone can be exciting, but sometimes it feels lonely.
That's beautiful. Balanced, honest, natural. Now, let's shift into something deeper. Being yourself in another language.
That's difficult. Sometimes I feel like I'm not really me when I speak English.
That feeling is very common because language is connected to identity. When you speak your native language, you feel natural, but in English, you are still building that version of yourself.
Yes, I feel more simple, like I can't express my full personality.
That's okay. You are not losing your personality, you are growing a new one in English.
That's a nice way to think about it.
And over time, that version becomes stronger, more natural, more you. Now, let's do one final extended role play. You are at an international gathering. You meet someone new. I'll start. Hi, nice to meet you. What do you do?
Hi, nice to meet you too. I'm still learning, but I'm interested in business.
That's great. What kind of business?
That's a good question. I think I like online business.
Oh, that's interesting. Why do you like it?
I think it gives more freedom, but I'm still learning.
That's wonderful. Do you notice something?
What?
You sound real. Not perfect, not complicated, but real.
Yes, it feels more like me.
And that is the goal. Before we close, I want to remind you of something very important. When you are in a conversation with people from different cultures, you don't need to become someone else. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need perfect words. You just need courage to show up.
I think I understand now. It's not about being the best speaker in the room. It's about being part of the conversation.
Exactly. And every time you speak, even a little, you are growing. So, next time you are in that situation, remember this. You can say something simple. You can ask a question. You can be honest. And that is enough.
Thank you. This really changed how I feel about speaking English.
I'm so glad to hear that. And to everyone listening, you are doing better than you think. Keep practicing, keep showing up, keep connecting, because your voice matters in every language.
And maybe next time, I won't just smile, I'll actually join the conversation.
That's exactly what we want. Thank you for being here with us today, and we'll be right here supporting you every step of your English journey.